Tales from a Forgotten Realm, Number 19, The Bookworm. Cyril curled a red lock of hair absent-mindedly round her finger, as she intently studied the report in front of her. She reached over to one of her several stacks of books and thumbed to a relevant entry. She hummed to herself. Very interesting indeed. The brutality matches the description, but the modus operandi differs slightly. The cuts, hesitation, guilt of the act maybe? An amateur? No. He knew where to cut. He's done this before, but this was different. Personal. She was completely alone, of course, in the City Watch archives. It was the middle of the night, and her colleague Tobin had gone home hours ago, but she had stayed, like she did every night, toiling away to the flickering candlelight. There was a killer on the loose, and someone had to catch him. Superintendent Almany was putting together a team, and Cyril was determined to be on it. She was to make herself an expert. She was going to learn everything she could about the Shadow Killer. So much so, in fact, that she would be the natural choice when it came to picking the team. The Shadow Killer had been killing for a while, but the nature of this particular killing was so shocking and public that it had become the talk of Neverwinter. That tends to happen when you nail a woman's eviscerated body to the side of a precinct hall during the dark of night. The superintendent was under pressure to find the killer from the populace and her superiors. The nobility had called an urgent meeting, and they wanted results. And as the nobility largely funded the City Watch, it was made clear that failure was not an option. Cyril had found similarities with some of the older unsolved Shadow Killer murders in the archives. The brutality and how the women had been opened up and bruised from vicious beatings were similar to this killing. The only difference was the public display. The other bodies had been found hidden away, but the nature of the killing was the same, with only a few differences. It had been over a year since the last body of a woman had been found beaten, eviscerated, and the skin randomly cut. Much like the older murders, it seemed that in this one, the cuts and bruising were peri-mortem, with the actual cause of death being blood loss through evisceration. Not a pleasant way to go. These victims had suffered greatly. There were small differences, however, to the trained eye. There were hesitation marks to the cuts on the Shadow Killer's most recent victim, which had been absent in the older murders. Behind all its gaudy public display, this murder was almost gentle. She penned the word in her notebook. The quill scratching softly at the parchment. No, none of this was gentle. That's the wrong word. Hesitant. Like a child stepping into the sea without knowing how to swim. The finger twiddled the red curl of hair a little faster. Why are you suddenly so unsure of yourself, dear killer? What changed? She paused, and the thought suddenly struck her. She leapt up, grabbing the pile of books and scrolls. Stupid Cyril, you've been looking at it all wrong. They all have. She almost dropped the pile of books in her hands, and realigned the pile to try and keep them balanced. It's not what changed, it's who.